What's going on YouTube? This is Christian with the Shadow Dragons here, coming with our 33rd place deck profile of our Hartford, Connecticut regionals. And who are you, sir?
What's up, everybody? My name is Jordan McCrae, and like you guys heard, I went to the first regional. It was very exciting. There was a great turnout. Everybody there was nice. But as you heard, I 33rd, so one place away from getting top 32. First loser, I guess you could say.
Man.
But yeah, I went 5-2-1. It was a good day, and yeah, that's just about it.
All right, let's get into this list.
Yep, I was running Ginyu, tricolor Ginyu to be specific. We'll go ahead and get into the deck profile here. You guys know what he does. Self-awakens, and then on that side, obviously, just go ahead and draw when you attack, and then that. Alright, 2 of the 7-drop Gohan. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Best card in the deck right here, 4 Super Saiyan Gotenks.
Some say it's arguably the best 5-drop in the game.
Yeah, being able to untap 2 and then draw a card, like replace itself, 25 beater is very, very insane. And there's stupid combos you can do with it, like throw Senzu Bean, untap more, summon like 2 of them in a turn.
Did you ever summon that like on like your energy at 5, or did you like usually just wait depending on?
Every time that I use this card, if I was not playing another Ginyu or Frieza or something like that, I always summoned at turn 5, and then I had two energy to untap, and then you always want to untap a blue and a yellow, because the yellow just enables your Bloodlust, Crusher Balls, and then the blue obviously for Coercions and stuff. So summoning this card like turn 5, or as you guys will see later in the video, I play Objection, so essentially turn 4 is insane. This card literally won me most of my games.
Word.
2 of this nice promo guy.
Ooh, are they blinging?
Yeah,
are you blinging?
They're blinging. This is good because like the whole thing that the deck wants to do is you want to negate whatever your opponent summons, play something out like this, pop whatever they just summoned, and then you just plus that way. So you're minimalizing I can't talk. Minimalizing them while gaining advantage for yourself. So 2 of him, 2 Kale. This card,
it's so good.
It got better and better the more that I used it. Like 20,000 crit is insane. There were times wherever I was playing against Cell and I got my hand ripped down, and this is one of the cards that you just want to keep because you're going to get a draw off your leader, and then you're going to get a draw off of her as well, and it's just insane pressure. And then your opponent, they're forced to deal with it. They either have to pop it or attack into it, which saves your leader from being attacked. It's just a very good card. Alright. For this guy right here, you play him, sorry about that, just because you want to constantly draw early game, you want to keep your hand very large. It's 10,000 too, so it can apply pressure early, and if necessary you can use it as a green energy, so he's a pretty good card. Alright, then to the yellow, you have for the Dodoria, which is staple. For the Guldo, this card actually came in a lot more handy than what I thought.
I was going to say, some people are not playing them Goldos for some reason, and I just really like them.
I like them because like you can hit them off of his effect whenever you go to reveal, which is pretty nice, but it's good because if you play decks like Hand Destruction, there were times wherever I played this just to get like a Broly or a Goku even tapped just so you can attack into it with the leader. It just gets rid of early threats, it's pretty nice. And it's a blocker too, so they're either going to pop it or you can save your leader from being killed. I think it's good. For Bloodlust, this is the best card in the deck.
Oh, yeah.
Super Saiyan Gotenks is probably the second best, but just being able to negate anything is so good. And like, there were times wherever I didn't even have this in my hand, and I just like kept a yellow energy up, and my opponent would make a completely different play just because like the threat of this, yeah, just not the threat of this card is just unreal. So best card right there. I did play 4 Crusher Ball. A lot of people were playing this at 3. I even saw some builds after just like talking to people after games. I played it at 2, but I like it at 4 because they ruled, it's still ruled like this, but they ruled that Crusher Ball hits both of Bobity's targets whenever it comes out. So that just made this card all the more better for me. every time that somebody would play Bobbity, if I didn't have the Bloodlust, or if I think that I could have saved the Bloodlust, I just Crusher Balled both targets, and it worked just as well for me. So this card's also very good. And then 2 Beerus, you just run him because you want, like I was saying earlier, to just pop things. So you have him, the Gohan, and the Kale, which is basically your whole pop engine.
Would you just switch that out if you had like the other promo Gohans like that popped, or would you just kept those in there?
Yes, if I did have access to the promo Gohans, I'd run 4 of the promo Gohan, and I would cut him.
I'm liking your ratio just because like the double strike is just like a different speed, and the 20K is it's like a different.
I do like that. Yeah, whenever we were at the regional, whenever I would draw him, I actually never once in my head I was like, I wish this was the promo Gohan.
Okay.
So like having him is not bad at all. Having the double striker over the crit's very good because it can apply pressure faster. And there were times whenever like I would preferably play him then the Gohan because I'd have the Gotenks out on board. You just want those multiple double strikers.
Okay.
So this is still definitely a very good card to have in there.
Word. I feel like 2 and 2 is good.
Yeah. The 4 Majin Buu. That's stable.
We shop at Staples here.
Yes, sir. We got some more staples coming. Them Senzu Beans. You need it.
Fax machining.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, there are some crazy plays where you can like summon the Gotenks. You can go ahead and untap 2, and then if you like load up on these, play them, untap some more, and then summon another Gotenks. It's insane.
Senzu Bean.
4 of the Coercion.
Man, you're running the gates.
Yeah. You need this, a little bit of stall action going on, so keep your stuff alive. And then we got 2 Mafubas. I liked playing Mafuba. It was very,
such an underrated
good.
negate card. It's so good.
Yeah, and then being able just to summon Gotenks, untap 2, you're always making this live. Or throwing a Senzu Bean down, untapping 1, this card's always live. And using this literally ends games, because by the time that you're putting pressure on your opponent, they usually only have 1 or 2 threats on board anyway. So if you can deal with one of their threats with a Mafuba, and then you can play a Beerus or a Gohan to pop whatever other threat they have out, you're in control at that point, and you still have the Cold Bloodlust and everything to control whatever they do throw out after that.
And it negates that pesky 12-drop Whis that we see in locals everywhere.
Takes care of the Whis right there.
Who knows who started that crap?
And then you have the 4 Objection right here. This is where my deck was a little bit different. Some of the other Tricolor Ginyu decks I saw, they didn't really play Objection. I just like it because you want to be able to do your optimal plays as fast as possible. And with the Ginyu deck, you're adding a card to your hand literally every play basically at the beginning. So playing Objection doesn't really hurt. You're not really negging your hand size or anything because you're getting card advantage. So being able to go ahead and summon a Gotenks on turn 4 is very, very nasty. And that just about wraps up the deck right there. So I do not have my side deck on me. I can talk about the side deck though a little bit. I put peel-offs in my side, which were very crucial. A lot of people were not ready for that. I had 2 more copies of Mafuba, because like I said, Mafuba just ended games. I had the Android 16 I had in my side. I put that in along with 3 Yajirobis, which was kind of like my little blocker package, because for those aggro matchups, whenever you have like Bobbity spamming out, if you don't have the Crusher Ball or the Cold Bloodlust for that.
What were you usually siding out just adding, what was your most sided out card in your deck?
To be completely honest, my most sided out card was the 7-drop Gohan. I sided out a lot, which probably was a bad misplay on my part. And depending on which decks I was playing too, I would side out maybe like one of the Objection, or take out both Mafuba if it was going to be for like certain matchups, because that card isn't used as much in others. And yeah, those are basically like my favorite staples that I did side in, and then obviously what I just said, I sided out. I never really had too much trouble against any specific matchup. The only real complaint that I have is if you don't have an answer for decks like Cell, whenever they go ahead and do their combo and they hit you early, it can be pretty rough. Or the Piccolo blocker is also kind of hard against this. If they get that out before you get a chance to do anything about it, it limits your hand size down to 6, and if you don't have a way to take care of it, you can kind of get dwindled down that way. So But I would say this is probably the most well-rounded deck out of all the meta decks that are out there right now.
The negate's so strong.
Yeah, the negate's so strong. It can just take care of a lot of matchups. So once again, Hartford was it was a very good event. ARG was very, very good. I'm going to 2 more of them because I loved it that much. And the prize support is literally insane. Getting 4 OTSs and a mat just for entering, you can't beat that. Out of the cards that I pulled, I got I got a Goku Rose, I got a full Frieza, and I got some other stuff like that too. I got a Kamavato, so yay me. But still, just being able to get that kind of value just for entering was insane, and the experience, meeting new players, it was all a good event. So.
Alrighty, well, up-and-comer Jordan McCrae, you'll see him out there in the circuit, and have a good night, YouTube.
See you, everybody.